So give us something quick.
Okay, okay, what we're thinking of as aliens are they're extra dimensional beings.
So give us something quick.
Okay, okay, what we're thinking of as aliens are they're extra dimensional beings.
Go to remove. There you go. Yeah. Make sure everybody hear me. You know what I'm saying? Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. You know what I'm saying? Real quick, y'all. I'll just go to the on the right. You see the banners,
right?
Or the comments, right? Yeah, go to the comments. Yeah, just put that on so people can see. Now you got it. It's on. Yeah. Most High in Christ. We the ISUPK coming out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. We've been doing this since 1969. Letting so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians know you are the lost sheep of the house of Israel. And today we going over alien abductions. Woo!
Yeah.
Now you use the mic. Use the other one. That one's up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We going to alien abductions. But the thing about it, right? We're gonna go over how is that related to white people being abducted. You know what I'm saying? Because it has a correlation. The 12 years of slave or people, or us being slaves in the Atlantic slave trades and us getting our backs whipped and us this and that, compared to alien abduction, compared to your so-called oppressor seeing things that go boop in the night and in the sky lighting up. Listen, I'm not saying the chariots of God is fake, but what I'm saying is there's a correlation between the two, man. There's a correlation between black people and white people getting abducted by by aliens, those strangers, you know what I'm saying, that go boop in the night. They got alien heads and gray bodies. You leave it to your oppressor, he's gonna tell you all the things in the world what an alien look like, but he won't tell you that God is a black man, that angels is a black man, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But we're gonna start in a few seconds, you know what I'm saying? Come right in and we're gonna get started in 2 seconds.
They're not ready for the correlation,
right,
between slave stories and alien abductions.
Get these books out.
Right.
All right, let's get started. Right now, let's see. Actually, let me get this scripture. Get a scripture real quick. While I find it, right? Y'all ought to say something real quick.
Listen, can I want to read the plot of 12 Years a Slave.
Right, go ahead. Yeah, read that real quick.
Because most people don't know 12 Years a Slave, it wasn't just a movie. It was actually, the movie's based off of a book that was written from a manuscript.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it was a very true story. So just to give you the plot, right? 12 Years a Slave is in 1853. It was a memoir and a slave narrative by Solomon Northup, as told to and written by David Wilson. Northup, a black man who was born free in New York State, details himself being tricked to go to Washington, D.C., where he was kidnapped and sold into slavery into the deep South.
Right. Listen, and that's heavy, man. And that's what's going to help us realize where the correlation comes from, right? But let me get this one scripture real quick. Let's get Lamentations 5 and start at 1.
Lamentations chapter 5, verse 1.
All right, Lamentations 5 and 1.
Let's see. Can they see it?
No, but it's all right. They don't need to see it.
You sure?
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Just
All right. Lamentations chapter 5, verse 1. Remember, O Lord, what has come upon us.
Right.
Verses. Consider and behold our reproach.
right. So it says, "Remember, O Lord, what is come upon us. Consider and behold our reproach." Keep going.
Our inheritance is turned to strangers.
Our inheritance has turned to what?
Strangers.
Mm-hmm.
Our houses to aliens.
Our houses to what?
Aliens.
Woo! Bump in the night, man. To gray aliens, man. To those big head things, you know, your oppressor is scared to. Nah, that's not what it's talking about. It says our inheritance is turned to strangers, our houses to aliens. Remember, it's strangers and aliens is the same thing, but damn
Right.
it, man. A stranger is someone you don't know.
Right.
Or someone that might what? Abduct you.
Right.
Someone that might steal you away into slavery. Something like what the Greys do to white people, right?
Right. That's why they call it extraterrestrial.
Right.
I mean, it's
Extraterrestrial.
aliens not from your land.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like from a different land.
Right. Someone yonder, over yonder, right?
Right.
Like how it says in what? Deuteronomy chapter 28. You read in Deuteronomy chapter 28. What it's talking about? You're going to be taken into the land of Egypt. I'm paraphrasing. By a nation you don't know.
Right.
And all this correlate together. It does, because remember, it says our inheritance is turned to strangers. Our inheritance, that stuff that we used to do, those high holy days, those laws, statutes, and commandments, those places where you can be safe at. Guess what? They're the strangers. The stranger has our history. You know, you go to the Vatican. Guess what? They got so much history that's ours. So much probably books that we don't know about. The scriptures have so much references for different books that you try to look for it. Where the hell is this book that they talking about? It's not there.
Right.
Your inheritance is to strangers. Our houses to aliens. Guess what? You walk down the street, Amalek, he gonna tell you he from what house? I'm from the house of Jacob.
The house of Jacob.
I'm from the house of Benjamin. I'm a Levite.
Right.
You understand? You got a white man tell you he come from the house of Solomon, man.
Right.
He like Solomon. You think Solomon that looked like an Edomite was picking up all these women, all these concubines, all these women, all these women talking about I'm nice and beautiful and all that? It's aliens, man.
Right.
It's a stranger. But keep going. What else does it say?
It says we are orphans.
We are what?
Orphans. And fatherless.
Right.
Our mothers are as widows.
Mm-hmm.
We have drunken our water for money.
Mm-hmm.
Our wood is sold unto us.
Right.
Our necks are under persecution.
Right.
We labor and have no rest.
Right. Listen, right here is just letting you know how are we going against this alien, these strangers? Because remember, we're technically we was abducted by aliens.
Right.
By strangers. We went to what? The Probins. We went to what? Look, you walking down one day. Oh my God, what is that? And you're taken to what? A new land.
Right.
You saw some strange ships, some strange vehicles come out of nowhere. What happened? You don't see your father no more. You don't see your mother no more. Or maybe you do. And guess what? Your mother go one way. Your son go the other way.
Right.
Your father goes this way. And now you got some story.
So you saying a strange ship showed
Right,
up.
a strange ship showed up
and abducted
you from what? A land that you knew. And taking you to what? Another goddamn planet. Another world.
Right.
You understand? But listen, let's get straight into it, right? Let's start off with the first PDF file. Let's go to that, right?
Is it the alien abduction?
Yeah, alien abductions. Let's go. Let's start right from there. So if you could just put it on the screen real quick so people can see.
Right.
Right. Make it big right there so they can see the whole thing. So they know we ain't making this up. Right there. It says what? What it says, Yawala?
It says of alien abductions,
right?
Pocket universes and slave narratives. It says,
Right here is right here. If you don't know, we about to get right into it. We about to get right into the meat and bones and bread and potatoes and let you know where we coming from. But if you could, right, make sure the screen is back to normal again. There you go. All right, so go ahead, read what you got.
It says this essay explores the hope impulse expressed in the writings of enslaved Black people,
right,
as a core concept of Afrofuturism and antebellum America. This desire for a better life, for a better future, and for freedom itself provides the essential psychic drive seeding resistance, rebellion, and subversive writing in early America while disrupting the white intellectual geographies of economics, politics, and histories such as those represented in Thomas Jefferson's Notes on the State of Virginia.
Right.
Let's see. In that book, Thomas Jefferson draws upon Enlightenment era pseudoscientific beliefs about the biological basis of race to create the technological fantasy upon which slavery hinges.
Right.
Where reading black bodies as objects rather than subjects configures them as natural machines, among other preposterous claims.
Right.
Jefferson contends that blacks require less sleep after hard labor through the day and suggests that black imagination is dull, tasteless, and anomalous.
Right. And real quick, this just to show you how our oppressor thinks about us, man. That's what he thinks about. He thinks that, listen, they don't need sleep. They require less sleep. Why? Because they work better when they sleep less. You know what? They want to get the job done quicker.
Right.
That just shows you what kind of animals that they were.
They call the natives engines.
Right. Right.
They see you as a machine.
Right. Keep going.
Jefferson completes the machine analogy in noting how slaves are distributable,
right,
as other movables when based on a principle of economy, being sold like old wagons, old tools, as natural machines, with race operating as a labor-based technology. Blacks are figured as artificial persons such as robots, cyborgs, and clones. For example, Harriet Jacob refers to slaves as good breathing machines in her 1861 slave narrative, Incidents in the Life of a Slave Girl.
Listen, and that's the same book we did yesterday. The same book that they always get slave narratives from. The sister Harriet Jacobs. You know why? Because there wasn't many slave narratives.
Right.
So guess what? Whatever they got, they're gonna use it and reference it all day. We keep going, y'all. And remember, you can say whatever you want to. Don't think you can't say.
Right. It says, but while Jefferson used this equation between machines and black bodies to justify slavery, black generational experience encoded in folklore, native scientific practices, and spiritual beliefs that survived the Middle Passage and reverberated through American history create a network black consciousness.
Right.
What's interesting here is how they're trying to basically show how, because of the condition we was in, like we were forced to think futuristic. We were forced that because we have to think about the future for hope wise.
Right.
You know, they didn't have to think about the future in that way. Like we were their machines.
Right.
So in essence, like they just had to make sure the machines is running, but we had to actually think about the future and use that as motivation essentially. So it's showing how that's like the basis for science fiction.
Right.
Because in reality, the future didn't look like we would be free. So that was like a fictional future. You had to imagine we was free and there was a machine to pick this cotton instead of us. And it just goes to show how this is what you're seeing as the basis for science fiction. Remember, this is the 1800s. Like there's no record of science fiction at that time. You know what I mean? And this is showing how black people was the basis for that. And listen, that's going to tie right into aliens, sir.
Oh yeah, let's get it.
I love it. I love it. It's, let me continue. I'm at the basis of freedom technologies that help blacks withstand the horrors of slavery. In short, then I argue that mapping the evolution of the hope impulse and the webbed network it formed among slaves and free blacks allow us to see black people survive the science fiction reality of early America. Consequently, slave narratives highlight the hope impulse
Right.
and action, though the sometimes daring flights of these fugitives, and also demonstrate an operational networked Black consciousness, since we still read them well over 150 years later. He says, I discuss how Solomon Northup, Henry Box Brown, and Harriet Jacobs attest to Afrofuturism's validity, as each one lays bare a science fictional American existence.
And that's important because people got to know what Afrofuturism is. You know what I'm saying? That's you fantasizing what the future is going to be like for Black people, man.
Right.
You like, damn, I wish I could get slavery. A place for me is I don't have to ever work again, man.
Right.
A place where Black people is here and there, and I don't see a oppressor nowhere in sight. You understand?
In essence, these are the first recorded, records of a utopia.
Right.
Right. Because we had to think like at some day there's gonna be a place where it'll be no slavery.
Right.
But these devils didn't have to think that way. They
Absolutely.
were in it. They're in a place where they work for me. I sit on my ass and drink iced tea.
And that's the thing about our oppressor. Our oppressor can never understand what it is to be a slave.
Right.
He does not understand. Like he loses $1 million, he's jumping out the window.
Right.
Just think about that. Those people on Wall Street, they be millionaires and billionaires. Let his company lose a few $1 million. He's ended it all. Why? Because he's too close to being like a nigga. He's too close. He could almost touch you, and that's too much for him. He can't even be next to your so-called Nikes and Air Force Ones and Jordans. He's like, nah, I'm too close to that. He got to throw himself out the goddamn window because he hears your conversations. He don't want to hear it.
Just think. You got to think of the psyche of that. Jumping off of a building makes more sense to him,
right, than
being where you are.
Absolutely.
That if he got to live like a nigga, I'm jumping.
Right.
That's how he feel.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the saying, if everyone was jumping off a bridge, would you jump?
Right.
But what people don't know is the answer is most likely so.
Right.
Because what the fuck got everybody jumping off a bridge?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
What's going on, right?
That's how they actually see it.
Right. Do I need to survive? Because why is everyone killing themselves?
Why is everyone jumping off bridges?
Right.
Well, that's how they see us.
Absolutely.
Like, well, I gotta live like them. I'd rather die.
Right.
And without any imagination of a utopia, because they're in it. The problem with us, we imagine a utopia, so we have the drive to survive.
Right.
They are in their utopia. So a change in that is I had it all. I'd rather die.
Right.
And that Black utopia is the basis for science fiction.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you can see it here. Listen, these stories sound like science fiction. These are narratives. These are slave narratives.
Right.
Henry Box Brown mailed himself to freedom. You know what I mean?
Right.
His whole time in the box, that was his whole world.
Right.
For that, and remember, this is back in the day. This ain't Amazon 2-day shipping. You know what I mean? You in there for weeks and can't make it sound. So half the time he was upside down.
Right.
So it just goes to show like our slavery was the catalyst for what we call science fiction today.
Right.
Because most science fiction it encompasses two things. Either we're fighting to go to a utopia, or there's someone coming to get us. You know what I mean? For some strange being with a language we don't know coming to get us.
Right.
So this is like perfect correlation. I don't think people know that.
Listen, they're gonna learn today. Let's keep going though. What else we got?
Let's see. It says each of these Black freedom fighters engender the Afrofuturist via from antebellum America to the 21st century by creating legacy of resistance, providing a necessary neutral link to the past and how fugitive slaves imagine different futures.
Right.
And completing a trans-historic feedback loop where contemplative Black authors critique ongoing racial politics. In this respect, Afrofuturist readings of the text go beyond authorial intent and reappropriating science fiction tools like alien abductions,
Like what?
alien abductions,
Yes, right.
or pocket universes to offer cultural critique and liberation.
So right there, they already correlated in those two together.
Right.
They're correlating you having all these goddamn Afrofuturistics to alien abductions and pocket universes. So it's gonna get deep. Let's go. Let's keep going because it's gonna get into it even more.
It says, I recognize the forced perspective on Afrofuturism that I use to reinterpret Black literature, but I utilize Afrofuturism as a scholarly tool for serious thought. As DeWitt Kilgore argues, Afrofuturism can be seen as less a maker of Black authenticity and more of a cultural force,
Right.
an episteme that bespokes a shift in our largely unconscious assumptions about what history matters and how they may serve as a precondition for any future we may imagine.
Right.
As a combination of cultural history and science fiction, Afrofuturism intensifies Black artistic production in such a way as to shift conversations on Black experience, at least as it has the potential to do so. Solomon Northrop's 12 Years a Slave,
Here we go. We're gonna get right into it. Keep
published
going.
in 1853.
Right.
I just want to say, 12 Years a Slave was published. Remember, this is not just some work they found.
Right. 1853.
It was
still
published.
slaving.
It was published. It was a bestseller. It was published in 1853.
Right. Because it's amazing to them.
Right.
It's amazing to them to read your so-called alien abduction.
Right. Now the first talk of alien abduction is in 1950.
Yeah. And that should let you know.
That's 100 years later.
That should let you know they get everything from you. They get you their happiness, their sadness, their horror, their money. Everything comes back to Black people, man. That should let you know. Aliens, listen, they ain't no blue green men. They ain't no gray people. They ain't no lizard people. They ain't none of that. You the goddamn lizard people. You the alien. You know why? Because they're scared of you. They know what's really up there in these chariots, man. Like, listen, they got books like this. You understand? This book right here, Space Warfare. This is from the goddamn 80s, this book. This book right here is from the 80s. In this book, it talks about having a space station. Well, guess what? What we have today, people?
Space Force.
We have a Space Force. You understand? And listen, I'm going to bring this out now because we might not have time later, but I'm going to bring this out right now. This is how much they know that Black people are from alien abductions, right? Let me see if I wrote the damn page down. Let me see. Because this is a book right here. It's called Encounters. Them talking about alien abductions. So let me see. I don't think I have it written down. I thought I did, but there's a part in the book. Go ahead, y'all. I'll speak real quick. There you go. Y'all while accent out the class. Now, but just bring up the article.
All right, no problem.
Bring up the article again, right? Just read a little bit more. Let me see if I can find it.
Okay. It says Solomon Northrop's 12 Years a Slave, published in 1853, provides a case point. His experience in bondage reads like an alien abduction story.
It did what?
Reads like an alien abduction story.
Listen, and right there is the first correlation of what an alien abduction story is. And that's what's important. That's letting you know right there. That's where they get their horrors from. That's why they're scared of aliens. That's why they're scared of the so-called chariots of God, because they know it resembles what you went through. It resembles of somebody being taken out of their planet, their Earth, their society, and what being brought to some spaceship, some laboratory with what they're getting probed and worked on and running away their kids, and this is in horror. And guess what? That happened to you, black man, a Hispanic man, Native Indian. Don't think anything that did not happen to you. The stuff that happened in the alien abduction, what? They get dragged on the ship, and what happens? They do alien probes and this and this. They did that to us.
Right.
They grabbed your wife from the stable, brought her all the way to where what? A whole bunch of white people, so-called aliens.
Why
and
do they even call it a ship?
Right. They bring them they bring them and do what? Tear her womb open.
Right.
Cut her apart. Do this and do that. To what? To find studies and experiments. What? To better their life.
Right.
So when you see these alien adoption stories or adoption claims from these shows or TV or these movies, what happens? They injecting you and they doing this and your skin's burning in the movie. Ah! They get it from you. They get it from the experiments they did from us.
Right.
That's why it says what? Read it one more time. What it says?
His experience in bondage reads like an alien abduction story.
Right.
It says, what possible benefit would an Afrofuturist reading provide? It says a straightforward interpretation of Northrop's life as told to his white, what is that? Well, David Wilson, indicates how Northrop was born free in upstate New York, married a loving mixed race wife, had 3 children, and was a successful farmer, a raftman on Lake Champlain, and a much sought violinist. With his wife and children out of town, the industrious Northrop tried to earn a bit of extra money by going off with 2 alleged circus men, Miro Brown and Abraham Hamilton, who convinced him to play music in New York City, to get his free papers sorted out, and to accompany them south on a quick trip to Washington, D.C. to make more easy money in 1841.
Right.
In the capital, these men drugged Northrop.
He did what?
Drugged Northrop.
And remember, this is the narrative of the 12 years a slave.
Right.
Keep going.
Kidnapped him.
He did what?
Kidnapped him.
That sounds like an abduction to me. He was going somewhere, and all of a sudden they drugged him. He passed out.
Woke up.
You know what I'm saying? Woke up. Where the hell am I? You woke up on a slave ship, my nigga. You woke up in bondage.
Right.
Ain't that what the alien abductions is like?
Sounds familiar.
You driving home with your beautiful wife, see lights in the sky. What happened? You back in your car and 7 hours done passed. 7 hours done passed. You don't know what happened.
Your body hurt.
Right, your body hurt. It's just right here. Right here, the alien abduction. But guess what? It's slavery, black man.
Right.
Hispanic man, Native is slavery. Keep going.
And sold him to a slave trader named James Birch.
Right.
Who arranged for Northrop to be shipped to Louisiana of the dreaded Deep South, despite Northrop's insistence at being a free person of color.
Right.
In New Orleans, renamed Platt. They renamed them Platt. The kindly cotton planter William Ford purchased Northrop at an auction, sold him 6 months later to the abusive carpenter John Tibbetts, who in turn sold Northrop to the diabolic.
The what?
The diabolic.
And that's the thing. He's letting you know this nigga is diabolic. He's disgusting. He's something that he should not even be doing this.
Right.
It's something that no one should be doing. Like, listen, if someone's calling you a diabolic, you know what I'm saying? Like, nobody uses that word, but if someone says
Diablo,
right,
you're
a goddamn
devil.
Bond villain. You know what I'm saying? He's selling you to a Bond villain. Keep going.
The diabolic and stormy planter Edward Epps.
Right.
Northrop spends the next 10 years laboring in the heat and humidity of the cotton and cane fields on the bayou of the Red River region of Avoyes Parish. Most of these years as a slave driver for Epps when not hired out.
Right. And before you go on, right? I found the page. I actually found it in my notes, right?
Perfect.
Right here. You go back to the other screen, so just in case somebody want to say something. All right, cool. Right here, right? Book called Encounters. I don't know if you can see it. Put it to the screen. Boom, boom, right here. Alien Abductions, right here. Talks about a whole bunch of stories, how people did this and that. Let's see. I'll even show. Look, where is it? Right here. Boom. People's thoughts. I don't know if you can see it so good. Yeah, bring it up right here. Don't lose this page. Right? Show the people. This is what white people feared. Right here. People, they go on this shit. What happened? Oh, they probed me with needles and did this, they did that. That's what we went through. You understand? But this is something I want y'all to listen right here from this one person. And just remember, they like telling truths in their fantasies. You understand? Just like you might watch a Marvel movie, you might watch a comic book, and you're like, this resembles something.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like Superman, he's supposed to be like Jesus in a way. You know what I'm saying? Because they get it from what?
They get it from the Bible.
Yeah, they get everything from the goddamn Bible. They put little bits and pieces and this and that everywhere. So let's see what they put in this book. Read this right here. Read right here. Start right here. Read this account from this so-called woman. Read it nice and clear so everybody can hear. Just listen.
Right. This is from the book Encounters. Her name is Diane.
Mm-hmm.
She says, I'm in bed. I can feel the bed and the room. Dick's there. He's sleeping. This is the first time I remember this.
Right.
But I get up and I go to the backyard. I thought I heard something.
She thought she what?
She thought she heard something.
I heard something. Keep going.
So I go out to the backyard. It's very, very quiet.
Mm-hmm.
And what I heard, now I can hear it, is humming.
Is what?
Humming.
Keep going.
It's a hum. So I thought it was the pool. Maybe the pool was on. The next thing that happens is I start to feel very, very heavy.
Very heavy. Keep going.
There's this heaviness coming over me. My whole body feels kind of funny and heavy and numb.
Right.
And I look up and I see this light. Just a light. So I think, well, maybe it's a helicopter.
And maybe it's a what?
A helicopter.
Listen, just think about it. Just think about you getting abducted now. You know what I'm saying? You in your backyard. You hear, what the hell is that? You walk outside. It look like a helicopter. What happened next?
A light from the helicopter.
Mm-hmm.
It's shining down on my face.
Right.
And then I feel this numbness. I'm so afraid. The doctor says, tell me everything you're aware of.
Right.
Diane says, I feel afraid. I don't know what's happening to me. I'm in this light. I can't see out of the light.
Right.
I don't see around me. Now I see, okay, there's been a gap in somewhere because now I'm walking in this large ship.
Well, listen, listen, just picture that as a slave. Your master, listen, you on your native land. Yo, what is that? What is that in the woods? Oh my God, it's a light. Gone. Pass by. Oh, where the hell? I'm in. What is this? This white people everywhere. You in New England right now. Keep going, y'all.
Said there's been a gap somewhere because now I'm walking in this large ship.
Right. And
there's these about 20 black people.
It's what?
About 20 black people.
Listen, man, what book are you reading?
I'm reading the book Encounters.
Listen, Encounters. Remember, you don't believe in this, nigga. You don't believe in alien abductions. You don't believe it. Let me white people believe in this.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, they make all types of stuff. They put things in the book we don't read. You look at the title of that book. I don't need to read this book. It's in the goddamn middle of the book.
Right.
They was like, all right, if somebody read all this and they got to the middle, here's a gift for you.
Here you go.
She said she saw what?
About 20 black people.
She saw 20 black people. Keep going.
Sitting down in the ship.
Uh-huh.
On this almost like a bench.
On like a bench. Keep going.
The doctor says, how were they dressed?
And listen to this part. How were they dressed? Keep going.
These black people.
These who?
These black people.
The gray people.
These black people.
It was green lizard man as 8 feet tall.
These black
people. They was little midgets with big heads and big eyes.
These black people.
These black people. She saw black people. Remember, the doctor had to put her into a sleep. Go back, way back. What do you remember being abducted by? Who she was abducted by?
These black people
Keep going.
are dressed in a Western American style.
Say what?
A Western American style.
Say what?
A Western
Fringes
American.
is what?
Can you stand up, sir?
These what?
A Western American style.
Yeah. Listen, man, let me tell you something. They put things in certain materials that they don't want you to know about. They don't want you to know about this. And this book encounters, she saw black people that what?
Dressed in a Western American
That
style.
sound like Israelites to me.
Sound like fringes.
That
to
sound
me.
like Captain Tazaria to me.
That sound
like Captain. That sound like Captain Gaza to me. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That sound like that to me. She went on the ship and she saw black people. She was like, God.
So braids, boots,
Right.
fringes. Like, oh, these are cowboy black.
Right.
What is this?
What the hell? Where am I? What year is this? Right? Keep going.
She said they look very confused and disoriented.
Mm-hmm.
And there was this man. Now I see him beside me, but he's tall. And I said to him, why are all these black people here?
Just think about that. Just think about this is what they scared of. Listen, it ain't no green men. It ain't no aliens. Ain't no lizard people. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no things things that go boop in the night. It ain't Freddy Krueger. It ain't Jason. It ain't what's the dude with the Leatherface? It's not Hellraiser with the little cube and the pins in the neck.
Nope.
She said, what?
Why are all these black people here?
That's what they scared of.
This is a chariot.
Yeah, listen, and that's what's in the book. They put that in the book. Why is all these niggas in here? Keep going.
And he said, well, these people were sent down into the most difficult of circumstances.
They were what?
Sent down in the most difficult of circumstances.
Now, just think about that. Just think about this person told this lady. These black people who's dressed in Western apparel was what?
Sent down into the most difficult
The
of
most
circumstances.
difficult what?
The most difficult of circumstances.
Who that sound like? That sound like you, black man. That sound like you trying to wake up day by day, trying to feed your children paycheck to paycheck, not knowing how the hell I'm gonna make it out of here. You know what I'm saying? You got your wife braiding hair without a certificate. Because remember, you need that hair certificate. Because if they come into your crib and they find out you braiding hair without going to school, guess what? They shutting all this down. Fine and all that. She trying to make extra money, so what? We can make it.
Out of the most difficult of circumstances.
Out of the most difficult circumstance, man. This is what they scared of, man. This is aliens to them.
Right.
You understand? That's that's abduction to them. She in her nice white backyard, walk outside, and it's like, what the hell did I come into? Keep going.
Like poor ghetto places.
Say what?
Like poor ghetto places. For a very high service there.
Right.
These are different souls. And I'm really confused.
She's what?
I'm really confused.
Listen, just like your oppressor, she's really confused. She don't know what the hell he talking about. Like, what are you saying to me? What's going on? I thought aliens were supposed to be up here. Keep going.
She says, and I am really confused. I don't understand what he's saying.
Right.
And now we're going into this room. Oh, I understand. Okay, there's a time difference. I'm really there for a long time, but when I'm put back, the time hasn't changed much.
Right.
I don't understand this difference. But it's like we've left the atmosphere and we've come back.
Right.
The doctor says, you're going to go back to before you were in the ship. And you're going to take a moment by moment without any gaps. You're going to allow yourself to remember everything that you've experienced. And Diane says, the numbness first and the heaviness. It's like I'm lifted. I can't stop. It's like a magnet. and I can't stop it.
Right.
It's pulling me away. And I think maybe I must be dying.
Keep going.
Because I'm going away from the ground. The doctor says, what are you feeling as this is happening? Diane says, confusion.
Right.
Like, am I going to be okay? Am I going to go see God? Or am I dreaming? Maybe I'm dreaming. But it happens very quickly. And I'm in this room. It's a strange room, and it's got a very strange metal all around it. Now I can see this room. It's almost circular.
Right.
And it's small. And I'm seeing it better now. I see these blue lights, about 8 or 10 blue lights on the ceiling, and they've turned on. They cover the whole ceiling. They go through the whole room, and something's happening from these lights. It's like my body feels, the air smells funny. The air I'm breathing has a very sweet smell to it. She sniffs, almost like honeysuckle. And I'm alone. It seems like I'm here for a long time, but I guess not. The doctor says, what are you doing? Diane says, I woke up on this table. And the doctor says, what position are you in? Diane says, I was lying down on this table on my back.
Right.
And it's cold. I look around. Now I don't have on the same clothes.
Right.
The doctor says, what do you have on? And Diane says, I have on these, it's like a white, almost like a white pair of shorts. And it ties right here, points to her waist. And a little top that ties right there, points to the center of her chest. I don't understand this. I really don't. The door is opening. It goes inside the wall. And there's this very tall man with dark hair. And I think he a doctor for some reason. I think he a doctor. I don't know why. Now, I've been here for a while, but I don't understand what's happening. So I said to him, can you make my muscles grow? Can you help me get over this disease? Now we are walking down this hallway. The doctor said, how did he answer you? Diane said, he says, the body is not as important as the spirit. Your spirit is already well, and your body will follow. And you're here. We're watching our children. That's all he says. Yeah. We're watching our children.
And you can stop right there. And right here, let me see that book, right? And that's what's so heavy about this book, Encounters, man. If you could try to get it, go get it. You know, there's a lot of fairy tale stuff in it about aliens, blah, blah, blah. But the importance of why we brought this out is to show you that they get it from us. Right. They get alien abduction from Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Why? Because it's from our trauma. They love our trauma. Remember, they love everything we do.
They got a fetish for Black people.
Right. They have a fetish for Black people. Absolutely. Remember, listen, if we doing wrong, they like it. We doing right, they like it. If we doing nothing, they like it. You understand? So, as I said, half this book is BS. But that part we just read, that's the most important part anybody can ever read to you. Why? Because it tells you in their source material that listen, it's Black. I saw niggas on a goddamn plane on a spaceship.
Right.
And they're telling me, listen, the best people we here to look after is the people in the ghettos, man.
Yeah, I think it's ironic because it also shows their psyche, right?
Right.
So this book, 12 years, that was a bestseller.
Right.
Like it was a hot book. This is 1850.
Right.
This is before free, the Emancipation Proclamation, all of that. Right. So this is what they were reading.
Right.
This is what informed them of what an alien abduction is.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? All the basis for it. Just like every superhero story has the hero arc,
right?
And it follows Christ essentially. Like this is the alien abduction story is slavery,
right?
Strange people from a strange land who speaks a strange tongue comes in a ship, abducts you,
right?
You know what I mean? Do all types of tests and nonsense on you, like that happened to you,
right?
Yeah, for them it's science fiction, but for you,
it's real life.
Damn right,
it's real life. Your mother could tell you,
right?
Your mother could tell you some history. Well, your grandma, your great grandma, your great grandfather, they could tell you They might tell you, listen, I don't know my mother. I don't know my sister. When I grew up, my sister was already gone. Those are abduction stories, man.
Right.
We have an abundance of them. And guess what? Our oppressor, he don't know anything about it. All he could think about is aliens.
Right.
This, that. To the point, like, listen, go back to the article. I mean, go back to the PDF file and what it says. Go up a little bit where we left over. We talked about the 12 years a slave.
This is it.
Okay, go ahead.
This was talking about he was with his wife and children out of town.
Yeah.
The industrious.
Yeah, go ahead, read that. Yeah,
tried
that
to
part.
earn a bit of extra money by going off with two alleged circus men,
Right.
Merrill Brown and Abraham Hilton, who convinced him to play music in New York City. Which is listen. That's what niggas want to do.
Right.
That's what
we want to do. Not only that, remember, you want to leave the South to come up north.
Right.
You want to get out of the South. You wanted to make it up north. Because what? If you make it up north, you can make it anywhere.
Right.
Keep going.
Says to get his free papers sorted out and to accompany them real down south real quick to a trip to Washington, D.C. to make more easy money.
Right.
In 1841, in the capital, these men drugged Northrop, kidnapped him, and sold him to slave trader named James Burke, who arranged for Northrop to be shipped to the dreaded Deep South, despite Northrop's instance of being a free person of color. You know, we read this, but I'm gonna skip down a little bit.
No, go ahead.
All right, so it says Northrop chanced to meet Samuel Bass, a traveling Canadian carpenter who was contracted to help build the house for Epps with Northrop's assistance. Quietly and slowly convincing the unorthodox Bass of his lost freedom, Northrop placed his trust in Bass.
Right.
And Bass wrote a series of letters on Northrop's behalf in August 1852, one of which eventually reached his wife in Glen Falls, New York. By September, effecting his rescue from slavery on January 3rd, 1853. Unlike Frederick Douglass, who left unexplained how he escaped from his first narrative, Northrop and Wilson decided to diverge essential details like dates, specific names, and places in Northrop's story to counteract any disbelief in his veracity. In fact, contemporary is important. Contemporary scholars use 12 Years a Slave as an indispensable source on antebellum culture.
Yeah, listen, that letting you know straight up, they use that for slavery, man. To look at it like, damn, how was it? Damn, he did this during this date, this and doing that date. And you remember how the book is. Remember the book, the psychologist telling Diane, what do you remember? Go back before that. What date? How this happened? How this happened? Because it's so fascinating to them. It's so fascinating because they don't go through anything.
Right. And I just want to say, people might think that we're just making this connection, but I'm showing that, like, yo, this is what they was reading. This is what they pull from. Like, they made this connection.
Right. Make sure the screen's big too. When you finish reading, go back. Right. That's all good. No, just right there on the top. No, right there on the bottom of the main screen. No. Go up a little bit. No, with the men. No, move over to the left. Yeah, that one. There you go.
Okay, it's a lot.
No, it's all right.
It's like just so they know that they're pulling from this.
Right.
This ain't just some connections, some wild connection we made. This is what they use.
Right. And
this book was a bestseller. This was before slavery ended. This was what was selling. This was what was informing them of slave culture.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I'm going to say this was the basis of alien abduction, because this was one of the first stories documented of an abduction of this nature.
Right.
It's the most famous.
Right.
Historians use this to say how they dealt with slaves in the South. So listen, man, slavery is the alien abduction.
Absolutely, man. I melt Babylon. Let me see. Where is that scripture? It's a lot here. Before we go in the scripture, right? Is there more on that? What else is on that? The PDF. What's page is that?
Page 3.
Because I think it talks more about the alien abduction part. If we go down, right? Yeah, right there with the UFOs. We probably drop down there. Drop at, of course.
Yeah, right.
Right.
It says, of course, Northrop's abduction and return have been thoroughly authenticated.
Mm-hmm.
But adding the alien abduction twist allows new meaning for contemporary readers. An alien abduction narrative relates alleged experience of a person who claims to have been secretly captured and taken away by extraterrestrial beings.
Right.
Encounters of the fourth and fifth kinds, as classified by the Close Encounters scale of ufology, first developed by respected scientist Joseph A. Hynek.
Right.
And the UFO Experience, a scientific inquiry in 1972. It describes how the kidnapped person is imperiled by a variety of invasive tests and practices. What? A variety of invasive tests and practices.
Remember, that's what we went through.
Right.
We went through invasive tests and practices. Keep going.
It says Hynek's original Close Encounters scale only went up to the third kind.
Right.
But his scale is later extended by his colleague, Jacques Vallée, to include encounters of the fourth through fifth kinds.
Right.
In the peer-reviewed Journal of Scientific Exploration.
Now, listen, I don't know. Did this article explain the first, second, third, and fourth, and the fifth kind and what it is?
I'm not sure. Yeah. What? Yes, it does.
All right, so let's get it so people can understand what this means. Like, listen, you might not know what they're talking about.
Right.
And when you bring it down, you're going to truly understand why your oppressor is a goddamn deceiver, man, and why he's a devil. And you're going to truly understand why alien abduction comes from us. Right. Keep going.
It says, Vallée contends that the fourth designate cases when witness experience a transformation of their sense of reality.
Right.
Often corresponding to the popular characterization of the incident as an abduction.
Right.
Right. So that is what the fourth kind is.
Right.
It says, and the fifth represents cases of lasting psychological impact.
What?
Lasting psychological impact.
Listen, we all been through the goddamn fifth kind. You understand? We all go through this. It says what? Cases of what?
Lasting psychological impact.
Keep going.
Such as injury or
what?
Death.
Injury or what?
Death.
How much of us died during slavery, man? How much of us got injured during slavery? Listen, if you don't know, even if you got injured during slavery, even you was disabled. Remember, listen, we did a class on that.
Right.
Go on the headquarters page, go down. We did it on disabled slaves. If you was disabled, guess what? You still was slaving. They ain't give you a pass if you had your arm broke or your leg was missing, your eye poked out. They just gave you lesser work, but right. You still was doing work. Keep going. What else it says?
It says, to be clear, the abductee is first captured.
Right.
Then examined.
Then what?
Examined. Communicated with.
Right.
Transported to an undisclosed location.
The what?
Undisclosed location.
Keep going.
Suffers through time displacement.
Right.
And is eventually returned home where he or she experienced a deeply felt sense of well-being or peace at the end of home before coming to grips with the social, physical, and mental consequences of the encounter.
Listen, and you know the sad part is we ain't go home.
We still
in the middle. Wait, where is it at? Where it left off? Return. All right, we started suffering through time displacement,
right?
And even return. We didn't even get to the even return home yet. We're fighting.
We're still abductees,
right? We still abductees in a land that's not ours.
Come on now.
That shows you. Listen, the white man is a deceiver, man.
Devil.
He's absolutely a deceiver to think. Guess what? He made alien abduction, the alien movies. You are him in these alien movies. He don't want to tell you, but you are him. You the human in every alien movie.
It's his. The ironic part is it's his fantasy.
Right.
He's fantasizing about what it would be like.
Ooh, what it would be? Ooh, it's crazy.
If I was a nigga.
Ooh, to get abducted, go home.
What if some motherfuckers
come
different color skin, come take me and
listen. That's why they all gray and big eyes. Sound like you to me.
It's because they can't make them niggas,
right?
But that's what they are. That's what the look represents.
Absolutely,
that's what they represent.
Big eyes, big head, small. They run fast. They go through. They're superhuman. Just think about it. Just think about your Lord, man. Just think about Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden super predators.
Right.
You this, you that. You're aliens to them, man. The difference between when they had these fantasies, you know the difference is? They go home.
Right.
They get placed back home, time displacement. Us, we're still captive.
Right.
We're still going through all these tortures. We still going through all these experiments.
And honestly, we going through time displacement too.
Right.
Because we getting treated the same way.
Right.
It's like no time passed at all.
Right.
You know
Absolutely.
what I'm saying? Listen, there was slavery, and then there was the slave laws, then there was the black laws, then there was Jim Crow, then that's time displacement.
Right.
You still being treated like it was 1890.
Right. Go back 17, 70s. Listen, it goes way back. We're still damn left off from when we got abducted.
Right.
You understand? Because we're trying to go back to then. At least we knew who the hell we were.
They took our memory.
Yeah. Listen, you dig deep. When we got here, we still had some of our culture, some of our names.
Right.
Goddamn. You understand? They had to beat it out of us.
First thing they did is change his name to Platt.
Right. Had to beat it out of us, man. So don't ever think all the stuff you see is just they made it up because they have great imagination and they're powerful. They're imaginative. No.
The funny thing is you watching the movie Alien, looking at like whatever Sigourney Weaver, whatever her name is.
Right.
Think, oh, she's a strong but nigga, that's you.
Right.
You are her in the movie.
Right. Everybody dying off. You fighting through space and time to do all that.
Hey,
you know what I'm saying? Against a lizard being, a serpent. You fighting against a serpent of space. That you kill it, it's bleeding and it's acid.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? You surviving to get back home. That's you. It proved it right here. You understand? And this is their fantasy. Their fantasy is to go through what you went through. But like I said, it's to get back home in one piece. They want to get back home in one piece. You know why? Because they don't want to be in a nightmare. They want to go. They want to stay in their fantasies, man.
Listen, even in their fantasy, it ends.
Right.
It ends.
Yeah. Slavery, they ain't end for you. It's still going. You know what I'm saying? You in the 4th movie right now. You know what I'm saying? Alien Resurrection.
Right.
You ain't end. Your movie, your fantasy ain't end. Our fantasy is the what is it? Afro-futuristic.
Right.
When we I'll never have to read. I'll never have to work again. The roads is made of gold and silver, and a white man's gonna work for me in his house. But the difference is your fantasy is actually true. Your fantasies is actually coming true. But the thing is, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, you gotta love each other first.
Right.
You gotta come back together so you can have this so-called Afro-futuristic. So you can finally see what it's like to actually be what an oppressor deals with. Right. Imagine going to work. Oh, damn, I can't wait to go there and see what Robert got for me today at work.
Right.
Go to work, you see all your slaves working. Like, damn, they doing good, man. How much money you made for me? He gonna run up. We made 4,200, 5,000. Like, good. Keep them working.
Want to wait for the day that you don't have to imagine the future
Absolutely.
as utopia because you in it.
Right. And that's when they're gonna wake up and they're gonna actually be a nightmare.
Right.
They're gonna actually feel like they've been abducted for once. They're gonna truly know what it's feeling like. Oh my God, aliens had took us to a place I've never seen before.
Right. Speaking a language I don't know.
Right. They're gonna speak in Hebrew. That's what they're gonna speak in.
Damn right.
They're gonna speak in goddamn Hebrew. They ain't gonna know English and British and Australian.
What are these letters?
German.
What are these letters? The characters.
Yakovasha. You know, they ain't gonna know none of that no more. You know what I'm saying? But keep going. What else we got on there?
Let's see. It says like an alien abduction narrative.
Right.
Northrop awakens in a holding pen, feet chained, with no recollection of how he got there in the heart of Washington, D.C.
Right.
He reveals how there was a blink of some indefinite period. He says, preceding my awakening in that lonely place, the events of which the utmost stretch of my memory was unable to recall. It says the slave broker Birch, alien to him, beat him with a paddle as Northrop insists on his freedom and then whips him as Northrop persists. The moment reminds me of all the stories regarding alien probing because Birch did not believe Northrop and continues to test Northrop both physically, psychologically by locking Northrop in a dark, steel chain all on fire.
Just that what? Just like this. That's how horrific this is.
Exactly.
Your chain is all on fire, right?
Yes. While it seemed that the lacerated flesh was stripped from my bones at every stroke. He says Northrop's interrogation by Birch resulted in such anxiety that a human face was fearful to Northrop, especially a white one.
Especially a what?
Especially a white one.
Especially what?
Especially a white one.
Especially those grays.
Mm-hmm.
Especially those big eye monsters. Listen, I call in the backyard. It was a lizard, man. It was a lizard. Yo, I don't know what it was, but it was 8 feet tall with long legs and it ran fast as hell, man. I'm telling you, listen, this is right. It's right here.
It's right here.
It's right here. Just exchange a white man for an alien. Just do that. Just instead of where was it? Where you left off?
Right.
Especially a white one, especially a gray one, especially one with big eyes, especially one that's 4 feet tall and they have green on. It's the same concept. They got it from slavery, man. And they use this for their amusement and make money off it. Right. They make money off of our trauma, our pain, and they think it's hilarious. They think it's ingenious. Why didn't I think of it? Listen, this devil is listening to him. It's like, I don't believe anything you're saying.
Right.
This is crazy, but it's fascinating. Keep going.
Keep
going. He did what? It felt like fire. I don't know what fire feels like, but this, keep going. Keep going.
Mm-hmm. This is after enduring such a severe flogging, clearly this infernal session softens up Northrop for sale,
right?
And predicts his fate transported by steamer to Norfolk, Virginia, and then on to Louisiana.
Right.
After being named Platt in New Orleans slave pen, he questions if the events of the last few weeks were realities indeed, right, or his passing only through a dismal phase of a long, protracted dream. This 12-year odyssey, as such, depicts an entirely different world where Northrop experiences the emotional harshness and physical rigors of forced labor by a more savage species of white man, vastly alien to what he knew in New York.
Right.
Northrop suffers slavery's full range: beatings, hounds, auctions, near lynchings, slave songs, betrayal, insurrectionary talk, foul and abuse language, and slave driving.
And listen, just think about what he said. He said vast different white people.
Right.
So he's letting you know right there, there's different types of aliens. Mm-hmm. This ain't the alien I knew down south.
This is the evil grays.
Right. This evil, these are the evil than what I saw down south. What are they doing? Listen, it's right here. Right here, man. The narrative for alien abductions comes from slavery, man. Not only slavery, this book.
Right.
This book right here.
Listen, you look at the Matrix and you're like, oh, they're using human bodies to power the machines.
Right.
They're human batteries. Well, guess what? You was a human machine.
Right.
That was you. You was the one that was using your body. They use your body to power America.
Right.
What you know about that Matrix? That's the Matrix.
Listen, absolutely. Absolutely. But listen, I want to stop here for a moment, right? And I want to switch the narrative because our oppressor knows about the chariots of God. They know about the angels. They know all that. And to them, they're scared and terrified about them. But what I also want to show is that Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, we knew about chariots during slavery, and we knew that they was going to save us. We knew that there was something that God was going to do,
right,
and send so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians out of the hellhole of the oppressor, right? So before we get there, I want you to get this scripture. Give me Isaiah chapter 66, verse 13.
Isaiah chapter 66, verse 13.
Right? Isaiah chapter 66, verse 13.
All right.
I'm gonna get there too.
Got it. It says, as whom his mother comforteth, so will I comfort you.
Wait, hold on. Let me just get there. Yep, Isaiah 66. Boom. And 13. Salaki. Go ahead.
As one whom his mother comforteth, so will I comfort you.
Right. This is the Lord talking to us, man. He said, as one is a mother comfort, so I will comfort you. The Lord's gonna comfort us a day. He's gonna comfort us one of these days when we get our act together. When so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, we start loving each other, start doing these laws, statutes, commandments, the Lord's gonna comfort you. He's gonna save you from this so-called alien abduction that we so-called suffering from. Keep going.
And ye shall be comforted in Jerusalem.
Right, keep going.
And when ye see this,
right,
your heart shall rejoice.
Your heart shall what?
Rejoice.
You're gonna rejoice when you see this, man. Your heart is gonna rejoice when you actually see the chariots of God, because your oppressor talks about them all the time, but he truly doesn't know what it feels like when death is gonna rain on them. When a real so-called alien invasion comes, you're gonna say what?
Your heart shall rejoice.
You're gonna rejoice because you know somebody's gonna actually love you. Somebody's gonna actually save you from actually being abducted and bring you home. So your heart is gonna rejoice. Keep going.
And your bones shall flourish like an herb.
Oh my God, man. Your bones is gonna flourish like a herb, like something that's being watered, man. Just imagine you going out there every day looking at that beautiful garden and you watering it and it's flourishing. That's how you're gonna feel, man. You're gonna see this and you be like, oh, hell yeah. Oh, damn right.
Right.
You're gonna be like, I'm not going to work tomorrow. I see God has finally answered my prayers and come to deliver us from this goddamn devil, from this oppressor, the so-called European, man. Keep going.
And the hand of the Lord shall be known towards his servants.
Listen, keep going.
And his indignation.
His what?
And his indignation.
His what?
His indignation.
Listen, Google that. Google that real quick. Google that for brothers and sisters, because that's important. It said, and his indignation towards his enemy. Let's see what that means.
Indignation, anger, or annoyance provoked by what is perceived as unfair treatment.
Right?
That's what it is.
Listen, and that's what's going to happen. God, the Lord, the Lord of the Bible, the Most High God, he knows that you deserve justice.
Right.
He knows it. He sees it. And he's going to come with, right when it says, the Lord shall know towards his servants. So like in the hand of the Lord shall be known towards his servants and his indignation towards his enemies, man. Right. He's going to come save you because what? The injustice that the oppressor have done to you. All the killings, all the murderers, all the rape, all the destruction. Just don't forget that. Remember, we had black neighborhoods. He burned them. He blew them up. He put them under the goddamn sea, man. There's lakes with your town name on it.
Lake Lanier.
Yeah. There's lakes. If you go into the bottom of the lake, you might see a mailbox.
Right.
You might see a car that one of your ancestors used to drive. You might see something. You might see bones. The Lord is going to come for the justice of those brothers and sisters, man. Keep going.
For behold, the Lord will come with fire.
He was going to come with what?
With fire.
He's going to come with what?
With fire.
He's going to come with fire. Keep going.
And with his chariots.
And with what?
His chariots.
And with what?
His chariots.
Listen, man. Look at this book right here. Space warfare, man. They building missiles, man, and lasers. This book talks about it right here. The Lord's going to come with what?
Fire. And his chariots.
Listen, this is what they building. They building stuff for the Lord. They want the space program for him. Because the Lord's going to come with what?
Chariots. Like a whirlwind.
Right.
To render his anger.
To render what?
His anger.
To render his what?
His anger.
Keep going.
With fury. And his rebuke with flames of fire.
Listen, the Lord is coming to destroy this wicked place, man. He's coming to destroy it for you, man. For you, a so-called black, Hispanic, Native Indian, the one that you think that no one loves, You go to work every day like, God damn, man, I'm a slave in this place. I don't think nobody love me. I go outside thinking my brother might kill me. Or are you letting your children walk among the neighborhood? You might be scared to let them out and play. Why? Because too much gun violence. Your women are whores. We dying from pimps and gonorrhea and all types of sicknesses. The oppressor wants to blow you off the goddamn world. But the Lord, my God, he's saying he's gonna come with. He will come with fire and with chariots like a whirlwind to render his anger with fury and his rebuke with the flames of fire. Man, that's love, man.
Most damn right.
That's love to me. And not only that, he's coming with his angels, man. The very angels that this oppressor builds space stations for.
Right.
He built a space force for. The ones that he's scared to go to sleep up and wake up in the room. There's 4 little men around me. They take you away and make books like this, Alien Encounters. And in these books, they talk about what? They probed me. He shot me. My arm was burning. I had a baby by an alien. All types of stuff.
That sounds like white guilt.
That sounds like white guilt.
Sound like white guilt.
And guess what? That article talks about it. It talks about white guilt that they have. Why? Because they done it to you, man.
Right.
Everything that they speak about alien abductions, you went through it, black man, Hispanic, Native Indian. We went through it. So because of that, the Lord got to destroy them. The Lord got to destroy them for all of the wickedness they have done. Read verse 16.
Verse 16. For by fire and by his sword,
right,
the Lord will plead with all flesh.
Listen, he's going to plead with all flesh.
And the slain of the Lord shall be many.
Listen, and that's what the Lord's going to do, man. The Lord's going to come down here like a true alien and blow the so-called oppressor out the water. Just like, listen, that's why we always reference this, like Independence Day.
Right.
Like in that movie, that's what these spaceships came to the every capital in the world. It went to the New York City, Washington, D.C., Houston, Texas. What was it in Florida again? The capital. Orlando.
I'm not sure if it's Orlando.
Might be Orlando. Listen, whatever the capital was, and they blew it up.
Right.
They blew it out to smithereens. But the difference between when the Lord comes in this movie, it ain't gonna be a happy ending.
Right.
Remember, in these movies, America gotta win. We can't show us never losing. If we lost in the first movie, the second movie we winning.
Right.
We're gonna come back and make a prequel, and we gonna damn sure we're gonna win this time. They never can show them losing. Why? Because the morale gotta be up for when the Lord really comes and put that narrative in your heart. Like, listen, we're gonna destroy them. Why? Because independence told me we could. You know what I'm saying? Avatar showed me we can always win. We might not win now, but in the next movie we won. We destroyed the so-called alien. We destroyed the so-called oppressor that's coming out the sky and try to take us away.
Right.
They're trying to destroy us. You understand? But with that, listen, what's the link you got up there? Go to the one of those links.
Which one?
No, don't go to that one yet. Go to the next one. No, go to the other one. Yeah, go to that one. Put that on the screen. Right? So we're gonna go to this, right? This is a slave song that everybody knows. Make sure that they see it. Yes. All right. So let me put it on my phone so I could follow along, because we're not gonna read all of it, but there's certain things we wanna look at.
This is the classic.
Right. So right here, right? Swing low, sweet chariot. Swing low, sweet chariot is a slave. Was a hum. It was singing this song. Why? Because they knew about the chariots of God. And the thing about it, all right, fine. They gave us Christianity, but there's certain things that we used to do. And the things that we kept, right? They would gave us the slave parts of Christianity, of the so-called Bible. But when we finally knew how to read the whole scriptures, guess what we did? We ran to the woods. We ran to the underground and started teaching the real truth. Right. We start teaching, like, listen, man, we are the Israelites. We are the people in the Bible. And because of that, the Lord is going to come with chariots. So guess what? Down the line, we kept passing off slave homes, slave this, slave spiritual, slave that, right?
That's that black network they was talking about.
Right. Absolutely.
That's that.
The black network.
Network.
Right. Absolutely, man. And it's for a reason. It's so we can always remember who we are. Because guess what? Harriet Tubman knew she was a goddamn Israelite.
Right.
What's it? I always
Nat
forget.
Turner.
Nat Turner. I always forget the name. Nat Turner knew he was a goddamn Israelite. Why? Because you're talking about two people who knew that actually knew how to read. And that's the reason why they didn't want you to read. It's not that they didn't want you to read just any old thing. They didn't want you to pick up the Bible,
right,
and read it for your goddamn self. If you knew how to read, they had to make sure they knew what version you was reading.
Right.
And then guess what? Who was in the church with them? The white man, the overseer. Like, yeah, read that. Yeah, read it. Make sure you read this one.
Make sure you
obey your master. Obey your master.
Right.
Read that. Read it again. But they don't want you to read the part where the Lord's going to come with fire and indignation towards the enemies. You don't want to read that.
Right.
Don't read that. Don't read when the oppressor is going to be destroyed by the God of the Bible. Don't read that. Well, go ahead. Read. Go back to this, right? So right here, it talks about African-American spirituals, right? And it shows you the lyrics and the words of Swing Low, Sweet Chariot, right? But if we drop down, boom, drop down, right? Keep going. Yeah, right there. Read what that says.
African-American spirituals, a national treasure.
Right.
From 1619
right
to 1865. Enslaved African Americans created their own unique form of expression known today as African American spirituals. As African Americans were not allowed to speak their native language.
They was what?
Not allowed to speak their native language.
Keep going.
Or play African instruments.
Right.
African spirituals incorporated into English language.
Right.
And the Christian religious faith.
Keep going.
Simply defined, African American spirituals are the songs created and first sung by African Americans during the time of slavery.
Right.
These songs are celebrated as a American national treasure. The lyrics of these songs are tightly linked with the lives of their authors, who were inspired by the message of God, and the gospel of the Bible. The most
well, you skipped one part though. You said there's a part where it says up top, it says, for they are the sources which gospel, jazz, and blues evolved. But it's all right. Keep going.
What was that? The most pervasive message conveyed by African American spirituals is that of an enslaved people for yearning to be set free. The slaves believed they understood better than anyone.
They understood what?
Better than anyone.
And this is what happens when we got together. We got together for people who actually knew how to read the Bible. Because listen, there's different types of narratives. I wish I had the book with me, but there's a book, another book that I have where it discusses different narratives from different slaves. And in the book, it talks about this exact thing, whereas in there's few slaves will play stupid, but they know how to read, and they will have their version of the whole Bible. And what they would do is they would gather together at nighttime in the barn, or they'll go somewhere during a holiday, or they will go in the woods, and guess what? They will read certain scriptures like, look, this is in the Bible, man. This is like us.
Right.
We're going through this. So I believe this is us, man. It says, look, you don't think they read Deuteronomy 28?
Come on now.
You don't think they read? You think it's new for us? We ain't just make this up.
Right.
Listen, we're the same people. We're the same people. We're the same people from Egypt, same people from Babylon, same people from 70 AD, same people from the Atlantic slave trade to now. We the same souls that's been upon the earth. We've just been replenished over and over again.
Right.
So we knew when we actually read it that this is us, man.
You can see it.
You can see it. So it says what? Read it again. It says what?
It says the slaves believed they understood better than anyone.
We understand better than anyone, man.
What freedom truly meant.
What?
What freedom truly meant.
We know what freedom truly means, man. These other nations can't possibly think what freedom is. Why? because they've always been free. I don't care if everybody so-called has been in slavery. I don't care if somebody, well, they were slaves for 100 years. They haven't been longer than us.
Right.
And I'm not just talking about the Atlantic slave trade. Go back to Babylon. Go back to the Bible. We've been in Egypt. We've been in Babylon. We've been in this. We've been in that.
Assyrian.
Yeah, Assyrian. We've been in every nation had a hold on black people, man. Hell, look, listen, if you don't know, guess who built the goddamn wall to China? You think Chinese built the wall to China? You think Chinese people built the Great Wall of China? You think they built that? Or you think niggas built it? Or you think they got some slaves and they put them to work? Maybe that happened.
Maybe that happened.
Just maybe a conspiracy theory. Maybe that happened. You know what I'm saying? But keep going.
All right. Understood better than anyone what freedom truly meant in both spiritual and physical sense.
Right.
The Old Testament scriptures that are referenced in their songs spoke of deliverance in this world, and they believed God would deliver them from bondage.
Right.
These spirituals are different from hymns and psalms because the African American slave used them as a way of sharing the hard condition.
The what?
The hard condition.
Right.
Of being a slave while also singing about their love and faith in God.
Keep going.
The African American slave was forbidden to learn how to read and write.
Remember that.
They had to find ways to communicate secretly.
Right.
African American spirituals were a medium for several layers of communication and meaning. African American spirituals were the strong oral tradition of songs, stories, proverbs, and historical accounts.
Right.
African American spirituals have been a part of American culture from times of slavery to today, and their legacy is clear in today's gospel music.
Right.
African American spirituals were also sung during the civil rights movement in the 1960s. Songs that were familiar with, such as "We Shall Overcome" and "Marching Around Selma," were heard in the South to unite African Americans in the struggle for civil rights.
Right. So listen, don't remember this. This is letting you know these spiritual songs was the reminders back in the day. Like, listen, one day we're gonna get out of this oppression, man. And you know why? Because we read the scriptures. We read them. Trust me. If we read them and we knew it wasn't for us, we wouldn't have related to it.
Right.
We read it and it said what? Ain't nobody know freedom more than us. Don't nobody know freedom more than us. It's gotta be for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Why would they hide it? Why would they only tell us to read obey your masters, do this, do that, don't do this, don't hit him, don't do. Why would they only read that? Why would he tell you, yo, skip over Deuteronomy and Exodus and all that old good stuff?
It's like they still saying that.
Right.
If you think about it, you hear brothers today like, oh, don't the Bible say slaves obey their masters?
Right.
Like they still basically
the
telling you don't need to read it.
Right. Absolutely. Whereas in back then, we had these songs to remind you to read it.
Right.
You better read it. Guess where we got this from? The Swing Low, Sweet Chariot. Guess where we got it from? Just like the verses I read in Isaiah 66.
Right.
Read it from there where guess what? The chariots is going to come what? The Lord's going to send chariots with fire and destruction. And that in the nation against the enemy, man.
Right.
You better thank the Most High God that we're in this the position that we're in now to actually be able to read, to actually have prophets on the goddamn street to tell you.
Right.
You might not know how to read. I'm going to tell you what the Bible says. And then it's up to you to take my word for it. Go ahead and read it. Go ahead and see when the Lord says, guess what? He's going to come with fire and damnation and kill the enemy for you, for us.
It's like, if I may, and it's ironic. Well, not ironic. It's beautiful because even the slaves knew that retribution had to happen.
Right.
They said they didn't listen. The chariots. They said they come with fires and flames and swords.
Right.
What the slaves say? Sweet chariot.
Right. Come on, sweet chariot.
They
take me home.
Revenge.
Not only
Sweet.
that, to come to take me home. Because they know what we are being abducted by strangers and aliens. Like we read before, aliens took over my house. Strangers, my inheritance.
Right.
Come take me home, please.
Sweet chariot.
Right. Let me see. What else does it says on the What else it says? Go back to it real quick.
It says some of the more commonly known songs, such as Sweet Low, Sweet Chariot,
Right.
and The Gospel Train,
Uh-huh.
used language to describe activities, but had a second meaning relating to the Underground Railroad.
Right.
The lyrics used in African American spirituals became a metaphor for freedom of slavery, and they were a secret way for slaves to communicate with each other, teach their young, record their history, and heal their pain.
Right.
It says Frederick Douglass, a fugitive slave who became one of United States' leading abolitionists, stated that African American spirituals told the tales of woe, which was altogether beyond feeble comprehension, and that every tone was a testimony against slavery and a prayer to God for deliverance from chains.
Yeah, listen, man, listen. And what's so powerful, right? Out of all these spirituals, right? What brothers and sisters gotta know, this song, and just pay attention to this song, right? We're gonna get into something real heavy. Go to this. You can exit that way. No, don't go to that.
All right.
Don't go to that one yet. Go to the other one. Yes, go to that one. Share this one, right? Right. So I want brothers and sisters to look at this real quick. Go to this. This right. Go down. Go down. Read the little description right there. What does it says?
It says William H. Johnson, Swing Low, Sweet Chariot,
Right.
circa 1944. Oil on paperboard.
Right. And it tells you the dimension, blah blah blah, and what museum. So right here, right, is our belief on what a chariot, what it would look like for the chariot of God to come down and bring us home. It is all black angels and women, and a man is like, damn, there's a chariot with a horse on it coming to take me home, right? This is how we felt it is. Keep going down. Read what that says.
In Swing Low, Sweet Chariot, a line of fashionable angels welcomes a man to heaven.
Right?
Having arrived by a horse and drawing chariot, he greets them with open arms. It says in the Bible, the prophet Elijah was carried to heaven by a chariot of fire at the end of his life. Swing Low, Sweet Chariot is also the title of an African American spiritual of slave origins.
Right.
The song is attributed to Wallace Willis, a slave from Oklahoma. His inspiration was the land beyond the Ohio River.
Right.
Like other songs of resistance, the spiritual uses encoded language that would have been familiar to slaves.
That what?
That would have been familiar to slaves.
Listen, man. And what's so heavy about this? I want all brothers and sisters to realize, man. Keep doing your slang.
Facts.
Keep doing the stuff so the goddamn oppressor don't know what the hell you singing. The funny thing is, we have these songs, and today, oh, that Christian thing out of here. Get this out of here. This is all this gospel music. But when you do the research, the reality is these are messages for each other. We singing this to each other. You know what? Yo, sing such and such so they know what's going on.
Right.
Sing Sweet Chariot so they know how we feel right now. The oppressor is like, oh, hey, listen, this is some good music. They singing this. But we all know in unison that what's going on, man. We sing songs as communication. We say things as communication. Like in New York, we say, yeah. It's a universal to know what the hell's going on. What up? What's going on? We do head nods and know, all right, you good? Yo, all right. You know where he is.
It goes down.
It's just now our oppressor is finally learning our love language,
Right.
our language of communication. But before it would be weird to them. What does dumb shits mean?
So Salagia, if you look at how that was created,
Right.
it's created the Vietnam War.
Right.
They would use the handshake to give messages of, oh, they putting us on the front line today.
Right.
Oh, I'm from this sergeant. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it stood for dignity and pride.
Damn right.
That is an acronym. Dignity and pride.
So just remember, man, listen, read it again so they understand what these spiritual songs are.
It says the song is attributed to Wallace Willis, a slave from Oklahoma. His inspiration was the land behind Ohio River. Like other songs of resistance, the spiritual used encoded language that would have been familiar to slaves. It says home could mean either heaven or the land of freedom.
Right.
The lines I looked over Jordan and what did I see / coming for to carry me home, a band of angels coming after me, referred to the town of Ripley, Ohio, which was a station on the Underground Railroad. The town is located on a hill across the Ohio River, a difficult point of the journey to freedom. At this junction, the fugitive slaves had to wait for helpers to arrive before they could continue.
Right. So always make sure I'm on the screen more.
Right.
But remember what this is saying, man. It was uncoded messages for each other. We still do that today.
Right.
We even doing listen, our love songs, our rap songs, as wicked as they can be, there's still messages. There's still things we're saying about each other. There's certain things we're gonna do. You understand? And one second. And the oppressor, his mission is to always figure out what the hell are they saying. That's why we have the COINTELPRO. We have feds. They pay our people there. What does this mean? What does that mean? I need to figure out because I can't have them getting out of here. Right. I can't have them banding together in unity and figure out they are the children of God.
Right.
Go ahead, Yawala.
And it's funny because whenever they learn our slang, we don't want it no more.
Right.
Like when they learn it, that's when it's not cool
damn,
anymore.
It's over. Listen, it's just like the chair.
Right.
When the oppressors start doing it and the cops got it, watch if they pull up, we got the chair. It's dead.
That was dead.
Nah, we don't want it no more. They got it. They tainted it.
Right.
And that's the point. But the difference is what's so heavy about Swing Low, Sweet Chariot is this. If you could, right, go to the next. Go to the other one.
This one.
Right. So you can read that part real quick.
All right, Swing Low, Sweet Chariot is an African-American spiritual song and one of the best-known Christian hymns, originating in early oral and musical African-American traditions. The date it was composed is unknown. Performance by Hampton singers and the Frisch Jubilee singers brought the song to the attention of a wider audience in the late 19th century. J.B.T. Marsh included an earlier version of text and tune in his 1876 publication.
All right. Oh, no, sorry. Finish up.
The story of Jubilee singers with their songs. The earliest known recording of Sweet Low, Sweet Chariot was recorded in 1894 by the Standard Quartet.
Right. It's all right. We know about Swing Low, Sweet Chariot. Drop down, right? Drop down where it says, wait, hold on. Let me see. Keep going. Oh, right there. Right there. Where it says Swing Low in parentheses. Right. Quotations. Read right there.
Swing Low, Sweet Chariot was traditionally performed as a call and response tune. Its free form structure intentionally allowed for improvisation and the spur of the moment changes made to bring the performers and the audience to a state of ecstasy and connection with the Holy Spirit.
Listen, this song was so deep for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. It gave you that, whoa, yeah, can't wait to get home. The Holy Spirit, you know what the Holy Spirit is? The Holy Spirit is like, I can't wait for the destruction of America, man.
Right.
We sing this to make sure it reminds us one day God's going to look back down at us and save his children, man. He's going to save us from this destruction that he's going to do over America. Listen, we got to keep this song alive. We got to. But keep reading. What else it says?
It says the melody is Platonic,
right?
In 2002, the U.S. Library of Congress honored the song as one of 50 recordings chosen that year,
right,
to be added to the National Recording Registry.
Right. So now I want you to drop all the way down. Drop down. Go into history. Go into history. Go all the way down. Right. Go until it says 1939. Right there. Boom.
In 1939.
Just remember that. Say what?
In 1939.
Just keep this date up in your mind. 1939. Keep going.
Nazi Germany.
The what?
Nazi Germany.
The what?
Nazi Germany.
Right.
Reich Music Examination
Right.
Office.
So right there now, go over it, hover it. See, look who there is. The Germans. You see them. Look at these so-called Germans, right? See, go ahead. What did they do?
Added the song to a listing of undesired.
Under what?
Undesired.
Under what?
Undesired. And harmful musical works.
Why would it be undesired and harmful? How is a song, Swing Low, Sweet Chariot, harmful.
So like it was added as song of the century,
Right.
in the music registry,
Right.
But the Germans said it's harmful.
Nah, you can't be singing about this down here. I know what this means. I know what this is, and it gets deeper. Keep going.
The song enjoyed a resurgence during the 1960 civil rights struggle,
Right.
and folk revival. It was performed by a number of artists. Perhaps the most famous performance during this period was that of Joan Baez during the legendary 1969 Woodstock Festival.
All right, so let's dig deep, right? No, don't go back. Don't. Let's go into the music examination office. No, up top where the Nazis are. Yep, let's go into it because it says it's undesirable and harmful. So let's see what they're talking about. Read what it is.
The Reich Music Examination Office was an organization with the Reich Ministry for Popular Enlightenment and Propaganda,
Right.
whose role was to prevent the distribution of undesirable music within Nazi Germany.
Mm-hmm.
In doing so, it worked in conjunction with the music chamber of the Reich Chamber of Culture.
Right. Keep going.
Degenerate music. The office was established as a result of an order concerning undesirable and dangerous music issued by the music chamber in December 1937. Heinz Duez became the office's first director.
Right.
Initially, the office remit was to screen all foreign music before publication or distribution.
Remember, we're in Germany. This is Germany.
Right.
Keep going.
But in March 1939, this role expanded to encompass all music.
Right.
As this task was too great for one bureau to deal with, publishers were only under compulsion to submit the music to the office if it was requested, although some composers submitted their own compositions anyway. As part of its work, the Reich Music Examination Office published a list of undesirable compositions.
Right.
The first of which was produced on the 31st of August, 1938, and published in the Music Chamber's official journal on September 1st.
Mm-hmm.
Several more of these lists were published. In practice, very few compositions were actually banned,
Right.
as a mere existence of the office had a self-regulatory effect.
Right.
Much of the banned material comprised what Nazis call degenerate music.
What?
Degenerate music.
All right, so remember, we about to get into it. It says much of the banned material compromised by what the Nazi called degenerate music was what?
Such as jazz.
As what?
Jazz.
As what?
Jazz.
As what?
Jazz.
That's nigga music.
Or nigga music.
Yep. What? Or what?
Nigga music.
Now look at the of the example they have right there. Just look at it. Just take your time. Go ahead, look at it.
You see something? What you
Yeah,
see?
go ahead. Just look at it. I ain't gonna say nothing. I'll give you 30 seconds. Just look at it. Go ahead.
What they know?
Go ahead. There ain't no time thing on here, but just look at it. Just look at it.
I'll read in the meantime.
Just, no, don't read. Just let them look at it. I don't want to say nothing. Let them look. We're gonna read it again. It's a much of the banned material comprised as what the Nazi called degenerate music, such as jazz or nigga music. Now look at the picture. Just look at it. I don't want to say nothing. Just look at it. Just indulge in that picture. What you see? What stands out to you the most? The nigga on the saxophone and the blackface, or the Shield of David? Which one?
Mm-hmm.
Which one? Just tell me about it. Just look at it. Go ahead. Just look at it. This is how you know.
Let that marinate.
Yeah, let it marinate. This is how you know what Hitler said about the so-called Jewish man is true.
He got the same symbol on his lapel as you have
Right.
on your lapel.
And the thing is, he knew black people were the real Jews, man.
right.
He knew it. It's right here. That's goddamn right on Wikipedia. Not even hiding it.
Y'all got it in the same spot.
Right. Got it in the same right. Got it in the same spot. It's right here. It's right here. Your oppressor is the goddamn devil that Bible speaks of, man.
Right.
This is why he hates you. And he absolutely has to ban Sweet Low Swing Chariot. Why? Because he knows if y'all get together and remember that the chariots of God is coming with fire, you might actually be saved. You might actually come together. You might actually what? Start not doing real work. You understand? You might actually be like, what the hell are we fighting for, man?
What are we
What
fighting
are we
for?
fighting for? They scared of us.
The nigga music.
The nigga music. Nah, listen, go into it. Don't stop there. Let's go right into it. Because it gets deeper. Go right into the nigga music.
Nigga music was derogatory. No shit. Was a derogatory term used by the Nazi Party
Right.
during the Third Reich to demonize musical styles that had been invented by black people, such as swing and jazz.
Right.
The Nazi Party viewed these musical styles as degenerate works created by an inferior race and were therefore prohibited. The term at the time was also applied to indigenous musics of black Africans.
Listen, and that's really it. You know, listen, you don't have to get deep in there. It's gonna go into all types of music history. That was what I wanted y'all to see. They knew who we are.
Look at this nigga music.
Oh yeah, listen, it gets deep, man. And the thing about it is, we just know about American propaganda against us. There's other European nations that have stuff on us.
You mean to tell me the white man is the devil other places too?
Yeah, listen, he the devil, man. He the deceiver. And right here is letting you know why he should not be trusted. He should never, ever be trusted. Why? Because every topic, I guarantee you, has a black man in it somewhere. It comes from slavery. I don't give a damn. You could talk about labor rights, black people is in there. You could talk about driver's license, I bet you a black man is in there.
Helmets came from black people.
Yeah, listen. I just showed you we invent everything, and every law of nick and cranny has to do about us. It's either beneficial to us or is against us. And most of it is against us.
Right.
You understand? But the whole point about this whole subject that we're going over is showing that abductions and the 12 years of slavery correlate to each other. And not only that, right? That they fear so-called aliens, these chariots, and we praise them. And when I mean praise them, we look forward to these chariots coming and saving us.
Right.
And that's when these two come together.
Right. So you mean to tell me the story of our slavery is the basis for alien abduction?
Absolutely, man.
And their fear of alien abduction is white guilt.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why we can't sing songs like Swing Low, Sweet Chariot. Listen, they love it that we don't sing it no more.
Right.
They love it. They're grateful that they think is a Christian gospel. They love that you think that. And actuality is definitely encoded stuff for us for what we were learning from. It was things that teach us many different things. Listen, it's mad different songs. If you go back to the spiritual page. If you didn't close it out. No, the other tab, not that one. Yeah, go back. Yeah, go back to this. Make sure they see it.
No, they see it.
Oh, okay. Go back up. Go back up. Back up. Yeah, keep going. No, keep going all the way up.
Oh, okay.
All the way up. Look, these are songs right here. These are the songs right here. These are some of the songs that we sung to each other.
Like Go Down Moses.
Yeah, listen. These are the songs that we sung to each other to encode. All right, yo, listen. Sing Hard Trials. We're going to sing Hard Trials, and we're going to know what's going on.
Roll, Jordan, roll.
Hey, listen. You walking down, you see another brother. What's going on there, sir? I've been in the storm so long.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, all right, I got you. Got you. You going out? What's going on there, Missy? My ways are cloudy. It's cloudy out there. You know, you might sing whatever the song is. I don't know the song, and that's the problem. We forgot our codes and conducts,
right?
And a way of to teach us. All right, listen. All right, we can't go down there. He told us not to go down there. He told us, all right, we saying this. Listen. Slavery might be over. Swing Low, Sweet Chariot is banned. Don't ever sing that. Don't ever talk about Babylon being destroyed. You can sing everything else. Jesus on the water side, wrestle on Jacob. You can sing everything else. But Swing Low, Sweet Chariot, how dare you talk about the destruction of America? How dare you talk about being saved from God? Don't you know God loves everybody? Didn't you read John 3:16? But God so loved the world? But yet we talking about Isaiah 66 and 13 through 16,
Right.
where the Lord talking about he's coming with fire, man, and chariot. Swing low, sweet chariot.
Imagine you shopping in the market for massa.
Right.
And you come across another brother. He asks you, how the weather in Ohio? And you deep river.
Right.
Deep river.
Right. And he gonna understand.
Jesus is on the water side.
Right. He gonna understand.
He gonna get it.
If the songs don't travel like they have been and they supposed to, they gonna understand, man. I gotta stay clear away from there. I don't have to go down there. It's hard times, hard trials down here. Listen, that's the name of a goddamn song, a spiritual song.
Right.
Hard trials.
I don't feel no ways tired.
Right. That's to get you through the goddamn work day, man. Maybe if you sung Swing Low, Sweet Chariot, maybe you might be able to work through the goddamn week again.
That's your coffee. Maybe,
right. That'll be your coffee. We might actually make it out of this hell because we will remember what it was like during slavery. We will remember our ancestors and what they went through to make it through another day.
Wait till I put on my crown.
Right. Wait till I put on. Where is it? Where is that at?
On the right. Towards the bottom, on the right.
Oh yeah, I said wait till I put on my crown. God damn it!
God damn it!
Listen, if that ain't wanting to be out of oppression, I don't know what is. That's letting you know we knew about Genesis through Revelation, and we was trying to warn brothers by different songs, but what? We got killed.
Right.
They told us not to read this. If I see you doing this, I'm gonna poke your eyes out. I'm gonna cut your hands off. I'm gonna cut your tongue off. I'm gonna sell your daughter. You better act like you don't know how to read, or listen, you're not trying to sound like you know how to read.
Right.
Don't even talk proper. Talking proper seems like you know how to read.
Where you learn that?
Right. What you talk? What? So I love the road out there, sir.
Sound a bit sophisticated.
Right. Sound like you know how to read,
you
boy.
Uppity nigga.
What this say? What is that? What is it? Read that for me. Listen. And this is why stuff like this is important, man. But listen, let me get one more scripture before we head out. Let me get go back. Let me get, I think it was Joel 2:1. I think that might be it. Read it what it is. Let's see what it says. That might be the one I wanted. No. Yeah, Joel 2:1. Read that before we head out.
Joel chapter 2, verse 1.
Right.
Blow ye the trumpet in Zion.
Right.
And sound the alarm in my holy mountain.
Right.
Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble.
Yeah, man. Listen, this is that day that good old sweet chariot comes down. That day when we were singing, that day is gonna finally come right here. It's letting you know, let all the inhabitants of the land tremble. Keep going.
For the day of the Lord.
For the cometh. What?
The day of the Lord.
For
cometh.
The what?
Day of the Lord cometh.
Listen, that's that day when all that singing, all that them spiritual hums come to fruition. All that scared of the oppressor and aliens and chariots is gonna come to fruition. That day when you know you might finally go home, just like how the alien abduction stories end. You might finally go home. And it said the Lord's going to do what?
Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble.
Right.
For the day of the Lord cometh.
Mm-hmm.
For it is now at hand.
Right.
A day of darkness.
For the day of what?
A day of darkness.
Day of darkness. Keep going.
And of gloominess.
Right.
A day of clouds.
Right.
And of thick darkness.
Keep going.
As the morning spread upon the mountains.
Mm-hmm.
A great people and a strong.
Right.
There have not been ever like, neither shall be any more after it.
Right.
Even to the years of many generations.
Right. So it's letting you know when the day of the Lord come, there's going to be some type of people that is none like them. There's going to be nothing like them. And listen, let me tell you right now, these are the aliens. And you know what this is? This right here in this scripture is talking about Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. You want to be the alien towards their oppressor.
Right.
This is the alien that he's scared of. Because remember, in the scripture, it talks about fishers of men, and then those fishers of men become hunters. These are the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. This is going to be you, black man,
Right.
Hispanic man, Native Indian. It's going to be you traumatizing a little white girl.
So
You
no.
traumatizing that old lady that she's in her kitchen cooking. And what the hell is that light outside? She's going to open it and see what? The day of darkness is glooming. The day of clouds and thick darkness. And the morning spread upon the mountains. She's going to see all that.
Right.
And she's going to be like, what the hell is that running towards me? She's going to see a true alien in that day. She's going to see an alien like we read in this book. I saw men in Western apparel. I saw black men at that. What the hell is these black men doing here? You're going to see your oppressor. Look out the window. What is these black people running towards us?
And Western apparel.
Keep going. Let's find out.
A fire devoureth before them, and behind them a flame burneth.
Right?
The land is as the Garden of Eden before them,
Right?
and behind them a desolate wilderness.
Listen, this is so beautiful. This is right here is letting you know we're running towards a place that's being burnt. A place that's already on fire. Why? Because the Lord said he's coming with chariots and fire. He's coming. His hand is going to come and show you why he loves you. So in this instance, guess what? You running towards this place that's supposed to be destroyed. And after you finish, there's a place like the Garden of Eden that's behind you. After you finish, traumatize, and destroy your oppressor, you get to go home.
Right.
You get to finally leave this adoption. You get to finally go home to see your lovely kids and your wife and your family. Why? Because they get to go home at the end of the movie. All this time, they get to go home. They get to rape 15 men get to go home. Get to rape one of our sisters, and a group of men hang her husband. And guess what? They get to go home at the end of that movie. They get to go home and nothing happens to them. Well, guess what? You get to traumatize them. I'm not saying you're going to rape their women. I'm never saying that. But I'm going to say there's going to be a time you're going to take their children and put them in slavery.
Right.
And then guess what? You're going to go home. You're going to finally go home to your kids. You're going to go home to your land. And guess what? They're not going to understand what it is to go home no more. Right. They're going to be stuck in the middle of the goddamn movie, wishing the credits will roll.
Of the fifth kind.
Or of the fifth kind. They're going to wish they're going to be able to go back in time. Listen, that's why they have all these crazy theories. That's why they wish. Listen, I wish I could. Listen, we could go back in time. Someone came in the future and told us we could go back in time. They wish they could do that.
Right.
They wish they could go back and do what? Take their blessing. Actually, tell Esau, listen, don't give that blessing. Don't give up your birthright. Don't give it up. They wish they could do all this stuff. Why? Because the ending shows that they're gonna be devoured.
Right.
They're gonna be ransacked. Their buildings and towers and their monuments is going to be destroyed. Keep going. What else does it say?
The appearance of them is as the appearance of horses.
Right. So the appearance of them is the appearance of horses. What horses do? They run. They gallop.
Right.
They're running. Keep going.
And as horsemen, so shall they run.
Keep going.
Like the noise of chariots.
Right.
On the tops of mountains. Shall they leap?
Shall they what?
Shall they leap?
Right. It's just like a horse coming off a mountain. Whoosh. That's how crazy you're going to be coming towards your oppressor like a goddamn alien. And guess what? He's going to be trying to kill you. He's going to be trying to save his family. But since the Lord is with you, what they say? You hear them talk about aliens, what they say? Listen, they go through walls. We shooting them that we can't destroy their chariots.
Right.
That's because that's really going to happen. Keep going.
Like the noise of a flame of fire that devour the stubble.
Right.
As a strong people set in battle array.
Right.
Before their face, the people shall be much pain.
Right.
All faces shall gather blackness.
Keep going.
They shall run like mighty men.
That shall what?
They shall run like mighty men.
That sound like aliens to me, right? It's gonna be listen. This is what they're afraid of. They didn't want you to read this during slavery. They're gonna what?
Run like mighty men.
Keep going.
They shall climb the walls.
They shall what?
Climb the walls.
Right.
Like men of war.
Uh-huh.
They shall march everyone on his ways.
Right.
and they shall not break their ranks.
Right. Everyone's gonna march in unison.
Right.
And when one go one way, we all go that way. When one goes this way, we all go that way.
When
all jumps the fence, we all jump the fence. Keep going.
Neither shall one thrust another.
Right.
They shall walk every one in his path.
Right.
And when they fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded.
Listen, that's it right there. Just listen to that. It
That's
says,
spooky.
neither shall one thrust another. Thou shalt walk every one in his path. When they fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded. This is letting you know right here what they're scared of. They know that when the Lord comes and we become hunters of men, there's nothing that's going to be able to destroy us. There's nothing they're going to be able to do to stop you from abducting their loved ones. Just like how they say in these alien stories. They were like, listen, I was driving and the light came. Someone took me. I was numb and I couldn't move. That's what they're going to feel. That's what they're fear of. They're fear of shooting all that they have at you, shooting these lasers, these tanks, these missiles, shooting an atomic bomb. And guess what? You walk up unhinged. A smoke clears. Guess what? You doing this. Like, damn, goddamn, most high in Christ. And then you're still running towards them.
Damn right.
And they don't know what to do. And what you do, you take their child and run back home to make her your slave. Or guess what? Maybe you might kill the whole family. Maybe you might destroy them. Why? Because they destroyed your family.
Right.
You begged and plead not for them to sell your children, your wives, your mother, your father, your grandparents. And what they do, they sold them. Never seen them again. So maybe when no sword won't wound us, maybe you might do that to them.
Right.
Maybe they could actually feel what it's like to be abducted and actually made into a horror movie, man.
Right.
Keep going.
They shall run to and fro in the city.
Right.
They shall run upon the wall.
Right.
They shall climb up upon the houses.
Right.
They shall enter into the windows like a thief.
Just think about that. You're going to go into your oppressor's homes like, whoosh. And he's going to do what? He's going to pull out his weapons that he loves. Just think about it. Your oppressor does what? He loves guns so much. He's in the NRA club. He got shotguns, ARs, and do this. You're going to come through the window like a thief, like, like a ninja. And what he's going to do, he's going to shoot you. He's going to think he's there to defend his house. And what's going to happen? They're going to go through you like a goddamn alien. You're going to go through the walls and he's going to be scared.
Right.
He's going to actually know why you the children of God. Because what? It says you shall enter in the windows like a thief. Keep going.
The earth shall quake before them.
What?
The earth shall quake before them.
Keep going.
The heavens shall tremble.
Uh-huh.
The sun and the moon shall be dark.
Right.
And the stars shall withdraw their shining.
Listen, and this is for us, man. Just think about it. This alien encounter is for black peoples. It's for Native Indian people. It's for so-called Hispanic people, man. This is for us to be free. I can't wait for this horror movie to come out. This horror movie is coming soon, and your oppressor is trying to delay it as much as he can. He's trying to defund it as much as he can. He's trying to make sure your script ain't right. He's trying to make sure you don't know your lines. He's trying to make sure that, listen, you don't even care about, listen, I don't want to deal with this. But when you actually read what's in this script, when you actually look at this so-called alien abduction movie,
right,
you're going to realize, oh, it's beneficial for me. But it's a scary horror movie for him. Read verse 11.
And the Lord shall utter his voice before his army.
Right.
For his camp is very great.
Right.
For he is strong that executeth his word.
Right.
For the day of the Lord is great and very terrible.
Listen, and that's why it's important for so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians to come together, man. We got to finish this horror movie. Right. We got to finish this alien movie that your oppressor is surely scared of. Because he has too much movies where everything ends nicely. Let's make a movie for him where he doesn't get to go home. He doesn't get to see his loved ones. He doesn't get to what? Make the money at the end of the movie. How about a movie when we finally win for once?
Right.
How about a movie when we don't actually die in the beginning of the movie? How about a movie where we actually become the victorious, man? Where we actually look upon the whole earth and realize the Lord did this for us.
It's stranger than fiction.
Right. It's stranger than fiction. Absolutely. Goddamn right. We actually get to go home.
Right.
We see every other movie and every other race be victorious in all their battles. When is that battle for us going to be shown? Well, it's right here. It's right here. And as so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, we need to acknowledge that we need to be brothers and sisters to one another. And then we can really become the aliens that, it still works. It's probably the iCloud. Yeah. So they can really understand what aliens truly are, because they have no idea what the Lord has in stock for them. They think they do, but they don't. Right. That's why, look, they got hideouts in mountains. They got food supply and the Fort Knox, this and that. They want to leave Earth. They got a space program. They try to do everything in their power not to be part of this destruction that our God, our Lord and Savior has for them, man.
They don't want that last chapter.
Right. They don't want that last chapter. They rip that out like that. Movie could never be finished. Mm-hmm. That's why they want you to read only the New Testament. They don't want you to read the Old Testament and put it together. They don't want you to have the whole script. They want you to have half of it, because if you have half of it, what happened in the beginning? Well, what did they do? They put you in goddamn slavery. That's what they did. They put us in chains. That's what they did. They took our parents and our children and our loved ones. That's what they did.
That's why they don't want to teach it in school.
Right. That's why they don't want to teach it in school. But that's why, listen, under Commander General Yohana at a 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, we can finally realize why our oppressor is the goddamn devil and why we truly need to come back with each other.
Right.
But with that, we the ISUPK coming out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. We've been doing this since 1969 to let the so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians know that you are the so-called House of Israel, man. Like that, we have prison programs, we have food drives. Listen, tune in next Saturday. We're gonna have more classes on Long Island. Tune in to Let It Be Known. Subscribe to Headquarters. Subscribe to Long Island. Subscribe to Let It Be Known, right?
Yes.
Subscribe to that again.
Do it twice.
Do it twice. You know what I'm saying? Twice as nice. Listen, follow Captain Desariok in the lab. Follow all of us. Stay tuned. We out of here. Israel Shalom. Exit out the exit out.
So give us something quick.
Okay, okay, what we're thinking of as aliens are they're extra dimensional beings.
So give us something quick.
Okay, okay, what we're thinking of as aliens are they're extra dimensional beings.